Applied Material acted just right in step with that, and basically is hanging out here at its 50-day moving average. Yours truly, when it was trading near the 145 area, I probably should have upped puts to the September 135s. So I own the 130s. And just to go back, you're talking about what we did earlier, that we're in earnings season. So it'd be nice to know, and they're an unconfirmed status here, but they're going to be around mid-August. And so we're underwater on this particular week on Applied Material. We took in a $3 premium. We sold the 145s. Again, probably too much of a gap, 145 to 130. I'm generally sharper on, if the stock is separating from the protection to move the protection up. But that said, I like the action today, and I don't know. I think I like it right in a 50-day moving average right here. I think Applied Material with other tech stocks have been in a really awesome run here. To me, it looks like it's just taking a break, but I'm looking for a little bounce in Applied Material from this week into next. And so I'll very likely, well, we have to buy back the 145s. I'll very likely sell the 140s. Sell the 140s for next week. And if this thing can cover another $2, $3, $4, $5, we're just smelling like a rose right again. And
what are your thoughts? It hit a 30-day low yesterday with that gap down. What are your thoughts with earnings coming up?
Well, it looks like it popped right up above it. That it's, and now it's not there today. So that could be one of those. Well, my little, I don't want to call it exception, but one of the most interesting things I found in looking for 30-day lows, and I appreciate you pointing that out, is the scarier ones are it starts drifting lower and it's in 30-day low territory and not really, and it's kind of the silent killer, right? It's doing that. You don't realize earnings are coming up in 2 weeks or whatever, and it just stealthily is just losing, and you might just kind of look at that position and say, well, it'll come back. Well, it's making 30-day lows on the quiet. Those are the scary ones. And then I just want this, I don't know how to explain this any better, but I've noticed also if it hits a 30-day low, so what's the thing? Is it if it's a 1 penny below a 30-day low on the second, are you supposed to pull over on the road and I got to get down? No. Okay. When it hits a 30-day low, one of the most killer things that I've noticed that I love to see is if it hits that 30-day low and bounces above it on that day. Okay. And this was the day I think that ASML reacted to its earnings, but well, let's just zoom in on it here. And this was the sell-off day too. But anyway, I like this a lot more where it's one day and then, God dang it, this stupid mouse is not, anyway. I like this, seeing the, how long ago they invent mouses? Oh my gosh. Anyway, it's just driving me up a freaking wall. But I like seeing the snapback. Okay, I'll just throw it down and say it. Now, again, it has earnings coming up. I'm playing it for a bounce. And as this is one thing that I do like seeing on the 30-day low. I can't explain it any better, but it's been super compelling across a bunch of names. If there's a 1 day, and very often times, I'll just say it in English instead of stop stuttering. Very often times when we see this action, this thing's gonna bounce higher. So we'll just see. But I'm not going to touch the protection. The protection's 130. Selling the 135s, we're going to get, the 140s. We get a really big premium there, and it really pays off if we get the bounce. So I'll just leave it there. So this is the one. Go ahead.
Would you enter this if you weren't in ahead of the earnings, or you kind of wait?
I wouldn't enter this ahead of earnings.
About 3 weeks out or something.
Yeah. First of all, we got to get a confirmed date. But I would start to. You're going to be noticing a lot of companies. If you're interested in them for a money press, chances are they're going to have earnings in the next couple, 1, 2, 3 weeks. So best to maybe start building a list of companies that have just recently announced, that have our, hey, why this stock and why now? That have a surprise factor. So I think this is a little too close to start, but I'm comfortable adjusting it this way. Look, could you make some money doing this for 3 weeks? I mean, I think so. We can never really project the immediate future. We do our best, but I really like knowing that I have a good 2.5, 3 month runway for a money press. Let's look at Bill, because this is one of the crazier weeks, but this is one of the reasons why we let a whole week unfold. And I'm going to look at the overall market real quick to see, because it looks like some selling. Let's just see. No. So the Nasdaq's the Nasdaq's basically about even. Dow's in the green a little bit. All right. So on back to Bill. So check this out. What we did last week is we sold the 126 puts, and when the stock really moved away, I moved up half of our puts. So we have half and half puts at the August 110 and August 120 strike prices. They have had an unconfirmed earnings. Let's see if they've confirmed it. They have. So they're confirmed now, August 17th after the close. And where's my calendar down here? August 17th. So Thursday after the close next month. I can't help it. I looked at a calendar and it reminded me of, well, I'll just say that I enjoyed a steak here in San Diego at a restaurant called Cowboy Star, and it's right up there now. It was really, a strong pound the table reco from yours truly, Cowboy Star.
Now I gotta go.
What?
So now I gotta go.
Yeah, of course you do. Okay, so back to Bill. This is feeling. I think everyone really probably knows this. This isn't rocket science, but the more aggressive a stock.
Can I say something or comment?
Yeah.
Have you comment real quick? With AMAT, quite a few got assigned stock. You still like AMAT?
Oh yeah, if you got assigned AMAT, well, you have to decide what you decide. But I'm going to roll mine out. So if you want to do it too, simply what you do is sell the stock. Okay, you still have your protective put, and then sell next week's 140 puts. Well, I'm going to sell next week's 140 put. I can't tell you what to do. Technically, that's my line I can't cross. But I'm going to be selling next week's 140s. And if you're asking what my feelings are, I can tell my feelings. Oh, I can't believe we're into the feelings here. Anyway, I suspect it will bounce. Okay, there is one only applied material, by the way. So that's we'll leave that there. On Bill, wow, I'm really having a hard time with my mouse. But anyway, it really ran up. I mentioned this on Sam's yesterday, but on another position where I hope this makes sense too. But you know, when a stock is really excited and runs, and you move a put up, okay, the world is not chasing down puts to protect. The world is not, investors aren't fearful as a company looks like it's leaving the station. Okay. When are people fearful? They're fearful when they own stuff and they see it cratering and they're racing in to protect it. Okay. When everyone comes in and races in, what do you think that does, by the way, to the price of the put protection? Okay. It jacks it up. It jacks it up. So when stocks behave like this and they really take off, and I adjust and move a put higher, I call this like adjusting. I call doing this when you don't have to. I don't know if that makes any sense. I have this internal dialogue that makes all the sense to me. And then when I say that right there, it just sounds really dumb. But when you move put protection up, when the world isn't fearful, first of all, it's sure nice when things come back down. So it comes back down. So not only is your put kicking in, a put that you bought for cheaper than it would normally be because the world's not in FOMO. Okay, now with all this movement here, I mean, I've got half of my protection up at those 120s. Those have moved up in value because of all this. It's actually just a really, it's, this is one of the things where I love the money press and being patient. Okay, we sold the 126. We're right around there right now, meaning as of right here, we're going to keep most of our premium. But I want to let most of this day unfold. You know, if this thing nips a little bit higher than 126, we'll have kept our entire premium, and we will have, you know, with the stock coming back down, our protective puts have risen up in value. Why is my vocabulary seeming like a 10th grader right now on this mic? Can you help me out of this?
Well, basically, a lot of them wonder why you're splitting the put protection. For one, like you mentioned with AMAT, the spread was getting a little too wide, so bringing up the put protection lowers the risk and ups your margin. You have more capital to play with, for one.
Mm-hmm, true.
But also, what he did is that exact thing, but also he's gained value with the pullback on the put that he purchased last week.
And let's just say this, and well, I'll make this point. We're, you know, Bill, as you can see, trading above 50-day. This is, we're trading a market that is now in accumulation. We have some names out there. I mean, quite frankly, you know, we'd be making great money here with long calls. We're in a money press on it, but all to say that this is one of the more aggressive movers and shakers. It is, which means, you know, Coke isn't acting like this, and other seasoned companies aren't behaving like the Bills of the world. So I try to keep that in mind, that there can be some really crazy ups, and it's probably going to be profit taking after that. There's going to be wide bars meaning wide tall daily bars, right? This is what happens when money that's been formerly scared and the market cycle shifts and it wants in. I mean, it's just not the shy, boring stock in the room. I mean, these are there's greed glands popping off here. There's people pissed that they lost so much and they sold out and they're getting back in, and the institutions are doing their things and have their buy programs, and they only get so much and they're spreading it out over days. I mean, this isn't the shyest stock, on the block. And so I try to keep that in mind with names like this. This is just a very interesting time for a company like this in this world. We just completely decimated and laughed at during 2022. It's newer on the block. Look how much emotion this stock is full of. And 2022 came and just slapped it down. This came down from the 330s, okay, down to 70 in about 12, 13 months. You got to freaking be kidding me. Okay, this isn't a 60-year-old tobacco company. Okay, these guys are just out, and the time to be interested in a company like this is right freaking now. Okay, and I think for these cycles they just don't turn every couple weeks. I mean, this broad cycle turns like this. Okay, there's money to be made, and this, I don't know, this could be interesting. It just tagged 140. Let's see where this thing comes down to. I'm probably looking to, after this pullback here, I don't know what I'll sell right now. As we've been talking, it's almost closed the gap to our 126, but we've got the rest of the day to go. A lot of time value is still priced into this, and it's because it's a mover. But
so would you look at a long call position on this as well? The newer stock, the Jeeper Leaper list, or is this one you would?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. What am I going to do with you guys? I knew that's what the questions were going on. I knew it. I mean, and look, if you're going to try to, hey, is it done going down? Look, if you're out a year, that's way different. Okay, so that begs the question too, like, hey, would you buy some calls on it? Well, hell, if you're talking about next week's calls, no. You got to be kidding me. No. But, 6 months, 9 months, a year out. Come on. Yeah.